All right, what's up, guys? What's up, family? Welcome, family. I got another video today, and this one I had to let sit on my heart for a couple days. My intention is really to put out a video every day, and I recorded a video the day before last, but it's just in the timing of things, it's not really ready to be put out yet. I think a couple more videos need to be put out before we start talking on those subjects. But what I want to talk about today is action, because right now a lot of us are thinking things, but we're not acting on it to see anything. And so that's really why I'm gonna start. I seen this video today of another black man, and he was already out his car. This was in South Carolina, I think it said. And for the people who know me, I sent this video out as well. And if you're curious, just hit me up. And the officer had him pinned to the ground. He may have had a weapon. It looked like something got tossed through the struggle. I don't know if that was the officer's weapon or his own weapon. But even if this man had actual charges against him, even if he was actually stopped, the way he got treated, nothing, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And so I don't wish that on my family either. And we have to stop this. The officer started swinging on him, punching him. And then more officers showed up, and he already got punched in the head probably about 7-8 times, and then swung on probably another 10 or 15, but was blocking him. And it's an officer sitting on him, just maying on him, and he's sitting there blocking it. This girl screaming the whole time. And then the woman recording the video has a child with her, asking questions about what's going on. And that's what made this so real to me, is that our generation, we have to fight. There is no alternative for us. You think you can just turn a blind eye to this and go to college and work out your life, but what happens when you have kids? They're born into that same system as well. There's no struggles. It doesn't matter how good of a life you try to provide for your kid, they will have to live and be a part of this system. And until we choose to make a difference and actually act on the feelings that we have, we're not going to see anything change. And you can speculate why we got here, whose fault is it to blame, but all that shit will get sorted out on its own, for real. As we work through this, as we act, we'll start asking ourselves the right questions to get those answers. With that being said, the first thing we got to do is start acting in our own lives, seeing where we can choose to make a protest or make a stand against the system that's building against us. And you have to take that step out with God. And I know for some people it might seem crazy, but I have a feeling that for a lot of people, I think God is starting to seem more realistic than what he has in the past or what we've seen in the past decade. Like, I think he's really starting to reveal himself to a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are being called to the messages that I'm sharing, because in the grand scheme of this all, we all share one mind and we're all called to the one thing. And that's why you see people who may not have any connections to this personally, they're sacrificing in order to see a difference made because they're called to by God. And again, we can speculate all we want, why to, and all that. And I can't help but think about these things, but I know now that that's not what this video is for. What this video is for is to inspire you, to inspire me, to inspire someone next to you. But through all this inspiration, we bring each other together and work towards one cause. And so we have to identify first our problem and a solution, or a way to at least adapt ourselves to that problem. And I'm telling you, if you think that what they were doing in the past, all we're doing with these protests is blowing off their mask, pretty much. Because Now they don't have to hide. Now they don't have to hide it because the people are protesting, but at the same time, they're being protected. Not the people, the police. The police are being protected because who are the ones out fighting the protesters? The police. That doesn't make any sense. We're protesting, y'all. Get the fuck out of my face. That doesn't make any type of sense. And for governing leaders and people as well, I want y'all to understand that the police is not our friend. And I talk about this in another video, and that's why I didn't release it as well. But don't take this personally, but the organization of the police is not for us as a people. And if you guys have questions, we can talk about it all you want to, but there's mountains of evidence. I've done the research, I've written papers on it. I'm not gonna act like I know it all, but from my experience and the research I've made, that's the conclusion I came to. And because of that, I know that that system has to be dissolved if we ever want to establish ourselves in the right position in the world. If we ever want to get right with ourselves, we have to stop following their ways because it's their ways that's making us fall. And that seems wild, but check this out. Let's say, for instance, someone's selling weed, okay? Most people in our communities don't have problem with weed. Most people do smoke weed, actually, so it's nothing to be selling it. You're just another businessman. But because you're not paying your taxes and you're not giving your money to Uncle Sam, you can serve up to 25 years in prison. That shit does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. But all they're doing is trying to enforce their systems. When we go to court, we're not going to court because of what we did. We're going to court to be judged on the color of our skin. When we go to court, I don't go to court as Dakota Kendrick. I go to court as a black man, another black man. And a lot of judges are looking to throw the harshest punishment at me because of a stereotype, because of some bias they got in their head telling them that I'm a piece of shit. I'm lazy, can't do anything. But that's what they feed to us. You've put me in an environment where my skills are not useful. You've put me in a community where my communication does not work. You've put me amongst the peoples who want to take from me everything that I could possibly muster, and they want to use it against me. When I try to fight for my rights, they want to tell me that I'm wrong. When I try to fight for just myself, when I try to speak, when I try to be heard, they try to tell me I'm not to be heard, to quiet yourself, just because I'm young or I'm a kid. And so many people, so much of the older generation has been indoctrinated to this way of thinking, but I don't care. I'm telling you, I'm done keeping my mouth closed. I'm done acting like I don't see this shit going on. And I'm telling you this, a lot of people are going to have to start taking this up if you're going to survive through all of this. I am not going to watch any wrong get done onto my family. So I don't care if your skin is black, your skin is white. If I see you being an aggressor in a situation and my spirit is telling me that you are being oppressive with your actions, I'm not standing for it. I'm going to approach you and I'm going to see what's going on. But if we got to have a problem, we're going to have a problem. Because if no one chooses to fight, then we'll never fight and you can never win. There's no battle. In basketball, you have to fight. In football, you have to fight. You have to muster strength. You have to muster ability. You have to keep yourself focused and determined. That is a war and that is a battle. And everything in our life for the past hundreds of years, for the past 400 years, has been preparing us for this battle. So we can look at it like we've been under the slavery. But here's what's really been happening. Our oppressors have been getting comfortable in their position, and we have been getting stronger under the thumb of their oppression. And so because of that, we have a power that they will never be able to touch. We have a relationship with God that they have not been able to establish because they turned their back from him. And because they weren't able to turn back and they don't want to turn back, they kept us from turning to him. And we can make this and manifest this into a race war, whatever we want to, but this is not, it is that, but it's so much greater, and we're gonna have to wake up to that sooner or later. And there's a lot of people who already know it and see it going on now, but I don't want y'all to get confused with the words that I'm saying. Don't think because I am encouraging us to fight this battle for the black man, for ourselves, for our family, means that I'm in support of everyone who's out there protesting. You got to be real aware of that shit. Just because someone has the same skin color as you, just because someone speaks the same language as you, just because someone seems to be fighting for the same cause as you, does not make them your family. And we're going to see that as it goes along, because let's paint a picture where we get our reparations. How many people are going to be like, okay, I got mine, so there's nothing I need to do. I don't need to put my money back in the community. I'm going to go out and buy me a car that's made by a white man. I'm going to go out and get me a house that's made by a white man. I'm going to go get me some clothes that's made by a white man. That's all that they're going to do, and they're going to try to buy us out. And that's when you're going to really see the greatest tension. That's where you're going to see the greatest tension. Right now, no one on either side wants to fight, because, at least from a leader position, it's like a Cold War, pretty much, a nuclear war. Once this goes, there's no turning back. But here's the thing we have to understand as people. They already pulled the fucking trigger on us. When they killed George Floyd, when they killed Sandra Bland, why can't I think of Trayvon Martin? These are police and non-police situations. Ahmaud Arbery, excuse me if I mispronounce his name, but all respect to all these people. We are being killed and we are being targeted for. And if you look into the lives that these people were living, there's a reason why they were targeted and they found themselves in those situations. And it's a real war and a real battle that is going on, whether you choose to fight or not. And if you don't fight, you're going to be a casualty of it. Boom, get your shit blown back. And that's the realest shit. That's the realest shit. You keep your eyes closed, you're going to find yourself dead without knowing what the fuck happened. And we got to do better. Ignorance is not bliss anymore. It's unbecoming of us, and it's taking us down. It's removing us from the blessings that God has, because part of his blessings is removing the ignorance. And because we want to stay underneath the system, some of us, we got complacent in our own position and being taken care of. Because we kind of learn how to maneuver. Over 400 years, we're going to adapt. And we adapted to their ways, which is what they expected. Because the goal is not to be on top or on bottom in any of this in comparison to any race. I can give a damn if a white person thinks they're better than black people. All I know is when you come to me and start acting like it, I'm going to show you wrong. So that's how I feel about it. The truth is the truth, and nothing that anyone says can change that. It's all about what we're doing in relationship to God. What in myself, what in my actions, how am I interacting with people that's encouraging of my relationship to God? You feel me? And when the enemy sees this, he knows that our mortal mind is going to think of this as race. And so we're going to try to adapt to the race. We're going to adapt. And so if he can get us to adapt to his ways, he wins. Because we feel like as long as we're surviving, we're alive and we have life. But no, flesh begets flesh. Soul, spirit begets spirit. And so if you want to be born of Christ, you want to know God, and I don't say that in a Christian way of thinking, because the Spirit of Christ is real and he is around us. He has been here from the jump and all of this. You can find him around you without ever opening the Bible, but he's going to tell you to open up the Word of God. I promise you that. And so what the devil has done over generations has not only disconnected that, but has instilled in us a disbelief in the God who is for us, and our God. We literally walk around as if God is not real. He is a real human being, not a real human being, excuse me. He is real in the perception that I perceive me, I perceive you, everyone else around me. The way you perceive, God is there to be perceived as well, but not by mortal senses, not by observing and seeing with your eyes, because he hid himself amongst all these things. And so you have to start digging around and asking questions and poking and prodding at things if you want to find God. And so let's do this together. Let's come together and stop falling into the system of man and the system of the oppressor, and take on the spirit of comfort. The one who is going to see us through all of this. The one who is getting Israel through the battles. The one who was with them in the wilderness. The one who got them to escape from Egypt. It's going to be tough. But shit is going to be a lot harder if we turn our back on it again. Because we messed up with Martin Luther King because we should have kept that going. Civil rights, and that just goes to show the indoctrination they have over us. I'm not really going to get into that. But Martin Luther King Jr. should have started something, not ended it. And that speaks for itself. And so although last generation missed it, let's pick that back up. Let's pick that back up. Last generation did what they wanted to. Hey, they brought us up. They showed us the ropes. Respect them for it and honor them for it. And even now, there's people, and they're willing to fight with us. They're willing to fight with us. So we got to come together because now is the time to fight. Now is the time to fight. It's a call to action, a call to arms. I love you, family, and I pray for peace and blessings over all of your lives. And I just pray that you get and develop a greater relationship with God. So in the name of Jesus, I ask all of these things. I put these words out into the world to be manifested through all of us. And I just pray so deeply that we can see a change without bloodshed.